Page 424, number 4. Amanda babysits and Petra does yard work on weekends. The graph relating Amanda's earnings to the number of hours she babysits passes through the points 0, 0 and 4, 24. The table below relates Petra's earnings to the number of hours she does yard work. Who earns more money? So they're giving us some information in a table, and they're talking about a graph, but we don't see the graph. So I'm going to start with what we can see, which is the table, and I'm going to determine the constant of proportionality. So again, when things are not labeled in a table, remember X is generally, in this case, the top variable, and Y is going to be the bottom one. If they are labeled differently, then you go with the labels that they have. But if they have no labels, it's generally assumed that the X variable is going to be the top one and the Y is going to be the bottom. So the constant of proportionality equation is Y over X. So I'm going to look at these and I'm going to see that 15 over 3 and 30 over 6 and 45 over 9 all give me a constant of proportionality of 5. And what that means is that is $5, because my Y is my money, over 1 hour. So Petra earns $5 an hour. Now, Amanda, we don't have a table, but they're telling us that on the graph there's a line, and when that line is connected, it passes through the point 0, 0 and 4, 24. So I'm going to label this as X1, Y1, and I'm going to label this point as X2, Y2. And remember, those little subscripts just indicate that this is trying to focus this here. These little subscripts only indicate that this is my first point that I'm talking about, and this is my second point. So what I need to do is I need to subtract the Y values, 24 minus 0, and I need to subtract the X values, 4 minus 0. And I need to do that in this format. So K is equal to Y over X, which means my Y values are going to go on top, 24 minus 0. And on the bottom, I'm going to have my X values, 4 minus 0. And this is a pretty easy problem. 24 over 4, that means K is equal to 6. And again, what does that mean? That means $6 per 1 hour. So the question, if this is Petra's earnings right here, $5 per hour, and this is, what's our other girl's name? Amanda. This is Amanda's earnings right here. It says who earns more per hour? Well, that's a no-brainer. Amanda does. She earns $6 per hour. Remember, the constant of proportionality is nothing more than a unit rate. These are our unit rates. Number 5, Milo pays $3 per pound for dog food at Pat's Pet Palace. The graph below represents the cost per pound of food at Mark's Mutt Market. At which store will Milo pay a lower price per pound for dog food? Well, again, they give us some information in verbal form. Milo is paying $3 per pound for dog food. And we can see down here that the price at Mark's Mutt Market, I'm going to move this a little bit, is represented by the graph. And when we look at the graph of this line, we'll notice it doesn't, when we're looking at our X values, we don't have them intersecting the line with the blue horizontal lines. And so that makes it more difficult, particularly when this isn't being represented on a graphing calculator. But what we can do is we can look at what we are given, $3 per pound, and we can look at our graph. Well, this does look like it's more than halfway. Halfway would be 2.5, but is that 3 or is that 4? Is that $3.92? It's just difficult to tell. So let's ask ourselves, well, what if Milo bought 2 pounds? And if Milo bought 2 pounds, it would be $6 for 2 pounds. And when we look at our graph here at Mutt's Market, we can see that when he buys two pounds at this market, well, again, it looks like it would be more than $6, because here's 5. 6 is probably down here if we're going to get to 10. But I'm just going to take it one more. I'm going to take it if I buy 3 pounds, because this is more obvious to me. Then I'm going to be paying $9 at Pet Palace. I'm going to be paying $9 for 3 pounds. And when I look here at 3 pounds, I can obviously see that this point is above 10. So I'm going to be paying, I don't know, for 3 pounds, maybe 11 or something, but I'm certainly not going to be paying less than 10. And this is what I would be paying if I was getting my food at Pat's Pet Palace. So at which store will Milo pay a lower price per pound for dog food? He will pay a lower price per pound for dog food if he goes to Pat's Pet Palace. Now, they don't ask you to explain here, but I hope that makes sense, that when you look at the information that you're given, when it's not drawn on a graph, you can look at the graph and you can ask yourself, well, where would those points be on that graph compared to the points that are given on the graph? And again, I like to take it out to the point where I'm more than just guessing. I can see that $9 would be below the line that is represented on this graph, and that the point that they do give us is above that line. Page 425, number 6. For 6 and 7, complete the information to compare the rates. These are generally a little easier type of problem. Sam and Bobby want to know who cycled faster. The table shows the total miles Sam traveled over time. The graph shows the same relationship for Bobby. Who cycled faster? So the first thing they want you to do is find the unit rate, which is the constant of proportionality for Sam. So when we look at Sam, we again know that this is X and this is Y, and our constant of proportionality is y over x. And when we look at these, we have 20 over 2, we have 30 over 3, we have 40 over 4, and 50 over 5. All of these simplify to 10 over 1. So he went 10 miles in 1 hour for Sam. Now, 20 over 2 is 10 miles per hour. Find the unit rate or the constant of proportionality for Bobby. And then they want you to put in points. So we want to look at our graph and we want to find where our blue line intersects with the lighter blue lines. And this one is really nice because it intersects all the way up. So you can choose any 2 points you want. I like to use the easiest points. This, of course, would be 1, this would be 3, this would be 5. But again, if you're not comfortable really believing that, then you could use the points, the x values that are given. You could use 2 and 18. You could use 4 and 36. I like to use simpler numbers. It looks like here these are going by 9s. So I'm going to use an x value of 1 and 9, but you could have different values, and 2 and 18. My y value is 18. So this is my x1, y1, and this is my x2, y2. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to subtract my y values, 18 minus 9. So k is going to be equal to 18 minus 9 over my x values, which is 2 over 1. And again, I'm keeping that consistent with this. My y values have to be on top and my x values have to be on the bottom. So when I simplify that, I'm going to get 9 over 1. And so that means that the unit rate for Bobby is 9 miles per hour. So 9 miles per hour is slower than 10 miles per hour. So that means that Sam cycled faster.